I've been playing a ton of Starfield lately on my ROG Ally, but this game draws a lot of battery life. However, to get some good frame rates on the ROG Ally, we do have to turn that APU up to 25 watts. This isn't ideal for battery life, but it sure helps with frame rates. Thanks to VRR, even at 30 FPS, this definitely feels really smooth and it's extremely playable. So how do we take a 30 FPS limit here at 25 watts and make it last an entire day? Well, luckily for us, we only need one thing to make this a good experience, and that's a good battery bank. I've been taking a battery bank with me to work, and even though I'm running at 25 watts, it's definitely making it through the entire day with an about 60 or 70% battery left on the battery bank. The battery bank that I've been using also supports the 30 watt boost. What I usually do is on my lunch break, I'll stick it in the charging slot here and I'll put it on the table behind me. This lets the ROG Ally charge without the battery bank getting in the way of the gaming experience. Overall, it doesn't seem to bother me much, but I do really enjoy having a good power bank with me to make it through the entire day. Well, today, Baseus sent out a new power bank for us to check out. This one's pretty popular in the community and I'm curious to see if it holds up to the hype. I definitely want to give this a good try before I recommend this to people, so I want to use this for a good week to see if this one lives up to the hype. Let's open the packaging and take a closer look at the battery bank itself. Before we get started, this was sent over to me by the company, but all opinions of my own. They're not paying me for this review, and of course they're not seeing the video before it goes up. I want to give this a good test to see if it's worth it for you guys to pick up. They've also given me a coupon code if you're interested in the battery bank at the end of the video. Without further ado, this is my review of the Baseus 65W power bank. Let's open it up and take a closer look. This was sent over in a bubble envelope and the box made it over okay. There's no damages on it, and overall, it looks like it's in pretty good shape. Let's open the box and take a closer look inside. In the box, we have a short USB-C to USB-C cable. We also have our warranty card. It looks like here the power bank has a 1-year warranty. We also have a user manual here. We also have the power bank itself, and this thing feels very premium. Even before I get out of the package, you can feel the nice metal shell on it. Let's open it up and take a closer look. They sent over the blue model here, and overall, I think it looks spectacular. It's a nice anodized blue, and I think it looks extremely premium. This is the nicest power bank that I've ever seen as far as build quality wise goes. The entire shell of the power bank is made of aluminum. We also have the display up here which shows us our battery life, and a button on the side to check that. Looks like my power bank has 38% battery right from stock. I'm going to have to give this a charge before we check out the battery life. Overall though, I'm really impressed with the build quality. On the bottom, we can see our battery bank specs. On the other side, we see the USB ports. The USB-C on the side here is the only one that's capable of 65 watt quick charging. We also have a micro USB for the charging the power bank, a USB-A that's rated at 30 watts, and another USB-A that's rated at 30 watts. If you're using the USB-C here and one of the USB-A, this is going to drop down to 45 watts and these will be charging at 18 watts. If you're using both these USBs here and the USB-C, this is only going to charge at 20 watts and these will both charge at 5 watts. However, since I'm only using this for my ROG Ally and my handhelds, I'm only going to be charging one device at a time here, and it's likely going to be through the USB-C, which is the full 65 watt quick charging. The USB-C cable here has a lot of length to it. I'd say it's about 2 feet. This should be more than ample for using with my ROG Ally. As mentioned, what I generally do is plug it into the Ally, then set the battery bank on the table behind me. Since I'm making this my main power bank for a week straight, I want to make sure that this supports the 30 watt quick charge on the ROG Ally. Let's plug that in and take a closer look. Immediately on plugging it in, you can see that the display here on the power bank pops up showing us the remaining battery life on it. It is working more than the 25, it's going up to 27, but for some reason it's not jumping up to that 30 watt. For curiosity's sake, I also want to try this other battery bank power cable here because this one was working for the 30 watt turbo. This one is doing the same thing, so it's boosting up to 27 watts. This is on the 25 watt profile. In a way, this is also a good thing because the 30 watt boost mode does cause a lot of overheating on the ROG Ally. I would almost prefer it running at 25 to 27 watts over the full 30. Even on my other battery bank here, it does say that it supports the 30 watt turbo, but we're locked down at 27 watts. We're also getting the same FPS and the temperatures are the same. This is the power bank that I've been using for the better portion of the last 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to swap this one out for this one and we're going to see how different that is. Overall, I don't expect any drastic changes, but it might be nicer to carry something a little bit more premium in my bag. This one does feel slightly heavier even though it's made out of plastic, but we can weigh these out and see if there's any difference between the two. The Baseus power supply is also slightly thinner and this one is a little bit bigger, so I think this one is probably a little less travel friendly. The battery cable that came with this power bank is half the size of the one that came on the Baseus. Having a slightly longer cable I think is going to be really handy, especially since I stick my power bank on the table behind me when I'm gaming at lunch. I'm going to set this one aside for a week. We're going to swap to this one and I'm going to tell you my thoughts at the end of the week. I have really high hopes for this power bank as it's one of the most recommended power banks in the community. Regardless, I think if you're in the market for a good battery bank, this one could probably be the one power bank that you're ever going to want to buy. Let's swap my old power bank out and we'll swap to this one for a week to see what I think of it. I want to give this one a good test before I give you my recommendation on it. I also want to see if this is a good power bank for all my handhelds, including the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, and my Neo devices. I might use these to charge my Android handhelds as well. Regardless, let's put this one aside and let's swap to this one and we'll see how it goes. I'll see ya in a week and I'll let you know my thoughts on it. Well, I've been using this for a while now, and honestly, I love this power bank. The build quality is superb, and it lets me get through the entire day on my ROG Ally, even at 25 watts. When using this in the beginning of my day, I generally charge it up to 100% if I have some time and I don't forget in the morning. Then when I go to work, this goes in my bag, and I have a fully charged ROG Ally and a fully charged battery bank. The last thing that I want to worry about when I'm gaming on my ROG Ally when I'm out of the house is the battery life. Generally on my ROG Ally, I get a good probably hour and 15 minutes at most at 25 watt TDP, which is what I use for this game. In the morning before I go, this is fully charged and ready to go. Then by the time it's lunch and I play a little bit, or if I stop at a cafe in the morning, I get a little bit more gaming done. By the time the lunch rolls around though, the battery is looking a little thin and I definitely need a recharge. When I plug this into my ROG Ally, it'll charge my ROG Ally fully from 0 to 100 and it'll have about 25% battery life left. Because the cable's so long too, it generally doesn't bother me when I'm sitting down. I can just put it on the table behind me and I don't even have to think about it. This lets me turn my hour gaming into about 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2.5 hours, which is more than enough to get through an entire busy day. If you take the train to work or you want to get some gaming done, well, this is probably the way to do it. 2.5 hours is more than enough for a PC game when you're out and about. This also charges really quick too, and the console does as well. So both can be charged fully in little over an hour. And I gotta say, the thinness of this power bank really makes it more portable compared to the one I've been using. I just found this new ship here when I was out and I've been having a ton of fun on Starfield just because I can take it with me anywhere. If you've been looking for a good battery bank with solid build quality at a decent price, this is definitely the way to go in my opinion. You're getting something that can help you make it through the entire day, even on the most powerful x86 handheld that I own. And that to me definitely makes it worthwhile. I gotta say, I like this little display that they have here. All I have to do is just tap it and it shows me what battery life I have. I thought I was gonna miss the display on my other power bank, but I actually kind of like this better. At no fault to the company, I kind of wish that they had been a little bit more careful during the shipping process. The box that was containing this also hit the edge and it caused a little dent on the corner here. here. However, I barely noticed that, and even in my initial review on the first day, I didn't even see that. But as you can see, it doesn't really affect the power bank, and the entire frame here is absolutely solid still. While it sucks Canada Post damaged that corner, it's still a good power bank. Battery banks aren't the smallest little things to stick in your bag, but I haven't had any issues carrying this around. The other one that I had though does feel a little bit bulky because it's a little bit thicker. I'm also worried about scratching this big screen on here, so that's kind of nice on the Baseus. If you're in the market though, I highly recommend checking this out. I'll leave a link in the description below if you're interested in checking one of these out. They also shared a code with me to get 20% off, and I'll leave that linked in the description below as well. Do you have a nice power bank for traveling? What's your go-to power bank for on-the-go gaming? I kind of want to check out a solar charged one eventually. I think that'd be really cool to go totally off the grid with my handhelds. What do you guys use currently? Have you had this one before, and what were your thoughts about it? Let me know in the comments below. This is definitely the battery bank to beat while maintaining some level of portability. Thanks Baseus for sending this over and making our x86 handhelds truly portable. If you have any questions, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and as always, thanks for watching.